"That's one hell of a car for a ghost," muttered Jake Carter as the 1967 Mustang Fastback rolled into his dusty auto shop, alone. Jake was 32, a war veteran turned small-town mechanic in Ely, Nevada. His shop, Carter's Fix-It, stood as the last blink of civilization off Highway 50, a place so quiet, even the wind seemed unsure whether to stop or keep going. Jake had been struggling. Business was slow, the bills were piling, and his mother's medical expenses had all but crushed him. Still, he showed up every day, oil-stained hands, busted knuckles and all. If anything, the work kept his mind off the nightmares he brought back from overseas. The Mustang was pristine, a sleek charcoal beast that gleamed like it had rolled out of another world. No note, no driver. Just a key on the seat and a sticky note that read, "She needs to run, no questions, cash in the glove box." Jake looked around. No sign of life. He popped the glove box and found $3,000 in crisp, unmarked bills. Enough to cover the overdue electric and maybe even give his mom a week's worth of meds. Most folks would have called the sheriff. But Jake? He knew what it meant to disappear. Some ghosts had reasons for staying hidden. He got to work. For 3 days, Jake poured his heart into that car. He replaced the engine seals, retuned the carburetor, realigned the drive shaft, things most customers never paid him enough to do. Right. But this time, it felt different. The Mustang wasn't just a job. It was a mission, a chance to matter again. The night before he planned to roll it out for a test drive, a storm broke. Lightning split the sky, and through the crackling thunder, headlights flared outside the shop. Jake squinted. A black SUV. Government plates. 2 men in suits stepped out, one flashed a badge. "Mr. Carter, we need to talk." Jake's gut tightened. They didn't accuse him, at least not right away. They asked polite questions. Who dropped off the car? What did he do to it? Had anyone contacted him? Jake told them the truth, no one had come. He'd just fixed it as asked. Then one of the agents turned, gave a subtle nod, and in walked someone Jake never expected to see again. Danielle "Danny" Blake, the combat medic who had saved his life in Kandahar. "Jake," she said, breathless, and battered but smiling. "You still fix things better than anyone I know." He stared, dumbfounded. "You're alive." "I didn't have a choice. I joined a special unit, off the grid. I couldn't tell anyone." Danny explained that she'd been on a covert operation, running from a mole in her own agency. The Mustang had hidden compartments packed with data drives and evidence that could expose a massive military corruption ring. She trusted only one person to keep it running without questions. Jake. Jake swallowed hard. Everything clicked. The anonymous cache, the black SUV, the urgency. "What now?" he asked. Danny smiled. "Because of you, I can finish this. You gave me a head start when no one else would." Suddenly, the SUV's radio crackled. The agents nodded. It was time. Danny gave Jake one last look, more gratitude in her eyes than words could carry. "You didn't just fix a car, Jake," she said. "You helped fix something much bigger." They were gone before sunrise. A week later, Jake received an unmarked envelope. Inside was a letter. "Corruption ring exposed. 2 generals arrested. You gave me the runway. We cleared the skies." Tucked behind it was a check for $50,000 and a folded patch that read "Valor Beyond Duty." Jake stood in the shop, the Mustang's silhouette still etched in his mind. The dust settled slowly around him. He hadn't saved the world, but he'd helped someone who did. In a world starved for recognition, it's often the unseen kindness that creates the biggest impact. Jake Carter didn't need medals or headlines. Just the quiet satisfaction that when the world needed a hand, his calloused one was ready. Sometimes the road to healing isn't a straight one, but every turn, every repair, brings you closer to home. A month passed. The town returned to its sleepy rhythm, and Jake resumed his work like nothing had happened. Word had gotten around that he'd come into some money. People speculated he won the lottery or sold a rare car part, but Jake never said a word. Instead, he fixed up the shop, got new tools, replaced the busted lift, and even hired an assistant, Luis, a 17-year-old kid who reminded him a little too much of himself at that age. Quiet, hands always in motion, and eyes that carried more weight than they should have. Luis didn't ask many questions either. He just worked hard. Jake liked that. One evening, as they were locking up, Luis looked at the Mustang poster Jake had pinned to the shop wall. A grainy print from the 60s with the words, "Freedom runs fast." "That car," Luis said. "What did it mean to you?" Jake paused. He thought about lying, brushing it off, but instead he said, "It showed up when I was ready to quit. Gave me something to believe in again." Luis nodded, like he understood more than Jake expected. "I think we all need something like that." Jake smiled. "Yeah, we do." Later that night, Jake drove to the edge of town. He parked near a ridge where the mountains met the stars, and the silence